Hi everybody, welcome to the Harmonica Barge. Today I've got a Cajun drinking song for you. That's tea, I don't think it's that kind of drinking song. Anyway, I've got my C harmonica, we're playing key of G, cross harp. This is a fiddle tune called Parlez-nous, boire. Excuse my French, I didn't pay attention at school. Just before we get started with that, please like the channel, give me the thumbs up and subscribe. That helps me out a lot if you haven't already, blah blah blah. Let's get started on the tune. So I've got my C harp, second position, obviously 2-hole draw is the root of this. This tune, you can kind of think about it in the Mixolydian mode. This is one of my in-depth lessons, so I have an accompanying much longer video with this that goes right into the theory, different approaches, techniques, all that kind of stuff if you want more of an in-depth lesson. But to get into the melody now, we're starting on the 6-hole blow. And this tune's what we call a two-step. So you can think about it. Ding, 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 ding. Look at this, I've got my triangle here. I can't play it. Something like that. Ba 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 da ba 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 dee 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 ba 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 dee do. 1 2 1 2 doom doom. That's where the name two-step comes from. So that's about the pulse. And I feel in this kind of music, the rhythm and the groove is really everything. You know, like everything. Okay, we do need melody, we need a framework of the melody, but I would definitely sacrifice some of the melody for groove if you need to. So talking of melody, let's try and get into that with the spirit of the two-step. So I'm going to do the first 4 bars, and you'll notice there is a little pickup, and that's on the 6th blow. So if I'm counting it, you know, I've written it here in a two-step, so like 2 to the bar, 1 2. But we can put an extra bar in front of that just to count it. So I'll go like 1 2, that's our bar in front, and then we go from the start. So we go 1 2 1 2 da da. So that's where we come in. Let's just practice that, the intro. 1 2 1 2, and we're finding that 6th blow right away. So that's not on the beat, it's actually pushing in. So 1 2 3 4 6, 1 2 3 4, and then we're coming down to a 4 draw. So from that 6th blow we're coming down to a 4 draw, so, and then we've got a bent 4. Now you could think of this tune as being in the Mixolydian mode, which I talk about a lot more in the in-depth lesson, and the Mixolydian mode technically doesn't have that 4 draw bend in there. But when you listen to a lot of versions of this tune, like fiddle versions, you'll hear, if you listen to 5 fiddlers play it, they'll all play it slightly differently. And it is very much a tune, I feel, that leans into these kind of bluesy stylings. So we can do that on the harp, of course. We've got that 4 draw. And just like the fiddle would bend the note and play it in a bluesy way, we're going to try and pick up some of that on the harmonica. So the first 4 bars, here we go. 1 2 1 2. Okay, and that's just taken us to the start of bar 5. You'll notice there's an extra 4 and an extra 5. I'm just going to leave out that extra 4 for the moment so we can take a breath out, just for the purposes of having to get some breath out. And this is a great tune for working on your stamina, for how much air you can take in. So there is one thing I'll just mention there. On the count, when you go 1 2 1 2, take a breath out the first bar. Like, why does often people never tell you this when you're playing harmonica. I'm sure lots of people do, but anyway, when you're counting, if you're going to play a big passage of where you have to breathe in so you don't fill up with air, take a breath out. Bloody hell, take a breath out. So we go 1 2, and although we've got a breath out on the 6 as well, so technically speaking we do have a little breath out before. Then we've got this long passage of draw notes, haven't we? Okay, now we've got the difficulty of this 2 full step bend. You can do this pucker. I'm playing it with a tongue block just because I like to lean into these kind of stylings, which I get into in the other lesson a lot more, but if we just play it nice and clean, 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's the first 4 bars. So like I said, my French is terrible, so I'm not going to even attempt it, but I did find an English translation which goes something like this. If you wanted to translate the lyrics, Parlez-nous à boire, it's let's talk of drinking, not of marriage. Always regretting those pretty days gone by. If you marry a pretty girl, they all want to steal her away from you. If you marry an ugly girl, you've got to live with her your whole life long. If you marry a poor girl, you'll spend all your life working. But if you marry a rich girl, nobody respects you. There you go. That's the make of it what you will. That's the lyrics of the song. And do check out like different versions of this song. I'll post a link. There's one of Cajun Mardi Gras where there's a bunch of guys. They look like they're having a great time. They're playing this tune and fiddling away, and I think there's quite a bit of beer being drunk. Yeah, it looks like fun. So let's get back to the last 4 bars of the A section. So coming from the end of bar 5 there with the 5 draw, we've got the 5 draw that leads into the next bar with another 5 draw. So there's a half step coming down to the 2s again. And a little tricky bit there at the end as well. We've got to do a 3 full step bend to a 2 full step bend. So again, you know, if you're just getting into tongue blocking, which is one thing that I really like to help students with, and my in-depth lessons cover this extensively. So as we get into it a bit more with the tongue block, we can start to get out some of these stylings, just like with the fiddle. And that gives it, for me, like a real nice driving rhythm. So let's try the whole thing from the pickup now with the 6th blow. 1, 2, 1, 2. And as you can see, when you get to the end, you're really filling up there. So I hope you have some fun with this tune. I think this is a great tune. And once again, you know, if you want to just get into the vibe of this, try it a bit faster and think of that rhythm. 1, 2, that driving straight rhythm on the triangle. For this version, I would recommend checking out the Balfour Brothers. So they're a great Cajun band, and this is kind of the version that I've transcribed with these bluesy stylings. So I hope you have fun with this tune. Do check out some different versions, like I say, get into this driving Cajun rhythm, and take a look at my in-depth lesson if you want to get into more detail. There's also some washboard on there, how to accompany this tune with washboard in case you want to turn it into a one-man band piece. And I'll see you for another harmonica video very soon. Until then, take care. Bye now.